Now, last week on the Zero to Hero series, we set out to attack the flying goalie special weekly. We went out into the market and we were looking for really underpriced limited cards that had a pretty decent fixture this game week. We ended up selecting some guys that were in like the very end of their season, some guys returning from injury, and we'd built a 5, that I was really happy with, and I thought, this has got a sincere chance of really going to the very tip top of the leaderboard. But since recording the video last minute, we went out and we managed to find one of those elusive L15 zero cards in the market in the form of a Daniel Kudjikov who was coming in to play goals for Sturm Graz. We found out that news for the midweek game week, which was like Europa Conference League or Europa League, or was it maybe even Champions League, by the way, I forget. But anyway, any performances in the midweek don't affect a player's L15 score for the weekend. So that news of him being an L15 a 0 for the midweek was music to my ears for the weekend. So I went out and picked up a Daniel Kudjikov Limited, and we went after the Cap 220 special weekly in the end. Now, in the last week's video, we'll be giving away to a random comment a Piero Hinchape, and I'm also going to be giving away that limited Daniel Kudjikov to a random comment on the backup goalie scouting video that we did a few days ago on the channel. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like and subscribe. As you can see there with the animations on the YouTube, it sparkles up, it makes you feel good inside, and by supporting the channel here, of course, it allows us to do more of content like this where we're doing giveaways of the best budget cards that are out there available. And this series is aimed at beginners that are starting at Sorare, of course, as well as those scouts that have been around the block once or twice. And in the video today, we are going to be scouting in for the anti-stack special weekly, so it's definitely a get your scouting caps on situation in the video today. Get involved in the comment section. We've got another amazing card to give away in this video as usual. If you're brand new to Sorare and you haven't opened up your account yet, there's a link in the description in this video that'll get you $50, pounds, euros, whatever your currency is, of market credit to go out and build your squad with. If you get stuck or if you've got any questions, jump into the comment section. I'll come and sort you out. By clicking on that link, you support me and all the content here at the channel. So if you do get stuck, drop a comment, I'll sort you out. But yeah, let's just get stuck straight into this one, because sadly, despite bringing in the Daniel Kudjikov, I thought this was a really good looking Cap 220 team going into the game week, but sadly Ben Henrik's got absolutely stuffed. I think Wolfsburg must have caught the deadline show with me and Harry, because we were just meh all over Wolfsburg basically. So they went out, really put a show on, beating Leipzig 5-1, which just absolutely crippled Ben Henrik's here. I think if he'd done a little bit better, we were 35 points off of a box, we could have done something really good. Sadly, no dice in this one, but we had other cards because of the way we're building this gallery out, where we're still able to play in the Premier League competition. We finished in the top 25% here, thanks to Daniel Munoz finally having a good game for us. Great captain choice as well, if I don't say so myself, but sadly the spine of the team outside of those wide players that we picked, as it were, sadly just didn't turn up. We're not good enough, so top 25% didn't yield any reward. In La Liga, despite captaining Rafinha, DNP Olmo, Koundé, and Jerry Moreno off the bench, it just was never going to happen despite the all-black clean sheet. And Chape's final game for the club here, for the really smart football fan account that we've got here, sadly again 36 points off of a box, very close. Vasilj double decisive, much to my dismay, on my pro account, as it were. Penalty conceded, but then the big man stepped up and saved it, didn't he? So no clean sheet was held on to either. That's really what the difference was. Wirtz, Bischoff and Marmouche was a great trident there. And with Hinchape, no clean sheet, no exceptional AA, meh. But in Champion, you know him, you love him, he's everyone's favourite standalone midfielder, Teje Savernier. Now, he did come off injured in the game, but not before bringing in a 77-point score. We had Rafinha, we had Captain Hakimi as well, as Magic Mike with a clean sheet, and Tio held us back a little tiny bit, but we finished 41st, and we're picking up a box out this time that'll guarantee us 2 essence, which is just lovely, isn't it? Top 25% in contender. Goalkeeper let us down a little bit. The outfield, Barco and Berardi, I suppose, did the job, but we should have captained Barco. He is fixture proof, as we're kind of learning in the community now. And despite Clarkson scoring, I seen him score against Hearts, and I thought, maybe the Zero to Hero account is going to be onto one here. Trubin with a monster 81, but sadly the Kuiper, Miller, Stoikers, none of them really happened at all. If one of them did go off, but 47 points, we could have seen ourselves get into a box. If 2 of them happened, we would have been cruising. And really, if we had a good limited score, you've only got one limited card in these competitions, so getting that one to break past 70, I think, is a great advantage in this competition. And then an 81 from a goalkeeper should be really setting you apart, you think, because I suppose it's under 23. Trubin's probably amongst the top picks. But anyway, nice diverse gallery we've got here to attack all these warm-up competitions and whatnot. And, we've picked up one box from it, which was a nice consolation prize, despite us having some really good picks and just being a little bit unfortunate with some DNPs and just some other scores. But we know it's going to be 2 Essence anyway. And Sorare is revamped to the UI, so it's maybe just a little bit cleaner for this account to just kind of dive in between. But now this year, in the absence of Football Manager 25, I've went out and found a new Football Manager game for me to play and get stuck in with this year. It's called Meta Football League, MFL. It's all based on fictional clubs and players. You open your own club, you name it, you design the badge, and with some of the AI image generation that's out there, there's some really fun and interesting clubs that people have made in this game. And it's basically an open network match where you're always competing against other real players that have their own squads, their own players that they're developing and bringing through the ranks across a number of different divisions depending on what level of the game you choose to enter. You're competing for glory, you're competing for recognition, of course, on the leaderboards, but there's also actual money attached to these competitions as well, where it's not just you playing Football Manager and just like, oh, I'm going to win the Champions League with my favourite team. You can actually take on other managers from around the world and compete for cash. If you're interested in checking out MFL, I've got a bunch of videos on the channel that show you how to open an account and beginner mistakes to avoid and that sort of thing. And by clicking on the link that's in the description of this video, you'll get all the beginner Brucey bonus free stuff to get yourself started, as well as supporting me and all the content here at the channel. So I thank you in advance if you do so. If you get stuck or if you've got any questions with starting up on MFL, jump into the comment sections and I'll come and sort you out. That's us up to 7. Now we have crafted from this account a few times already this season, but since they changed to the boxes, particularly in these warm-up competitions, it's just very slow, steady progress, which is, I suppose, what the absolute minimum of this function is supposed to be. Even though this little account is playing with like a couple of quid and putting in some competitive lineups, it's not going to be churning tier 5s for fun unless we attack some of the special comps. Now, the special comp we've got, I've actually got a team out for the midweek because we've got a midweek Premier League slate. Munoz did nothing. We'll see how the rest of the guys go on Wednesday and Thursday night. And under 23, we put Clarkson, who's playing Celtic. It's probably not going to do much. But Yamal's got off to a great start. Captain Palmer. You never know, I suppose. And then we've got the guys into training that we might need for the weekend. Now, Teji might be injured, so we need to watch out for that. But this weekend is anti-stack. So I think that will be the first team we'll be building, and we'll be seeing if we need to do any scouting in the market for it, because we're entering this competition. It's one division, it's one entry. I'm prioritising this for this account. Of course, some people will be doing the same for their main account. Obviously, everyone, this is just like a content account, as it were. But some people will be building their entries for this last. Some people will get lucky, some people will get unlucky. But anyway, we're in the mix, you know. $1,000 at the top of this, 800 and 600 to complete the podium. Yeah, pretty chunky prize pool, if I don't say so myself. Especially if you get into, like, we just got a team into the top 40. Could we get into just even the top 100? You know, that's the kind of goal here. Get one of these boxes. Get one of them into the account, you know. Get a wee cash as well. And kick on from there. We've got 2 goalies to choose from now. Kujakov, I suppose, well, when will we do the giveaway for the goalkeeper video? So I'll give you guys time to get involved in this as well. We did a video on the channel, I mentioned it in the intro a few days ago, and we were looking at the best backup keepers to buy at any scarcity, because that's what Kujakov is. He's a backup keeper that's coming in for an injured number 1. And when you get guys that can do that, he got 60 in the Champions League, 37 against Altac, and in this match here, he will be away to Tyrol. So a pretty good match for decent AA, maybe gets the clean sheet as well. The same can be said for Ryman. Ryman's got those 70s about him, doesn't he? And even a high 50, you know, he can get into that realm regardless of the fixture. He's away to, Munster, 17th in the table. So Kujakov's team are top, 15 games played, 16 goals conceded, and they're playing against Tyrol, who have only scored 14 in 15 matches. Even at home, if we have a look at Tyrol, they've scored 3 in 7 games. Away from home, Strumgratz have conceded 7 goals in 7 games, so not exceptional. Both these keepers being away is actually pretty good, because, you know, they will face shots and stuff, but the teams they're playing against are very low quality. I think Kujakov is way safer than Ryman. We can't pick in Chappie because we're going to give him away at the end of this recording, so we can't select him. So I think we'd have to take Benjamin Henriks. Leipzig, after getting stuffed off Wolfsburg, really need to bounce back, and away to hosting Kiel could be a good game for them, and Henriks is a decent enough player. We need to watch out for the Teji injury. That might be this thing that we jump into the market for. Forsberg for the Red Bulls, by the way, playing in the MLS Cup final against the Galaxy. Can you believe it? 51 against Orlando. If he can do that type of game but jam his way into a decisive, that's 76 points, or maybe even 80 when you factor in the shot on target or the key pass, the attempted assist, whatever. So I think Forsberg is acceptable to take for this. Anti-stack as well, of course. They're not actually in the same team, although it kind of looks like it visually, I suppose. We've then got Aspas at home to Mallorca, and that's where you want Mallorca, is that you're at home. and Aspas is the man. We know he'll play. I think Moreno will play as well, but away to Bilbao with maybe Simon coming back isn't optimal either. So we're a wee bit... Oh, Clarkson against St Johnstone. Now, if Clarkson doesn't start against Celtic, it makes him probably quite a good bet to start against St Johnstone. He might be pretty decent for like an above 60 score as well. So I think that's the sort of team we would end up with. Now, I don't think that is punchy enough. It really needs to be like all these guys scored the absolute best possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to captain Aspas, and I'm going to leave this team on ice for a second. Now, looking at the matchups tab here, there is some powerful teams that are at home, and there's some powerful games here that we don't need to, we can play anti-stack with. So as I kind of jump across the Sorare market, I've just filtered out current club for really the top 5 picks that I've seen there at a glance. We'll ignore the legends, of course, but what I'm now looking for is anyone that is just mad cheap that is involved in these matches, and then we'll kind of work backwards from there. And there's some really interesting picks here. What I'm trying to work out now as I'm scanning over all this is, to attack this competition, what is really the squad I've already got missing? What are the key positions on the leaderboard from other teams that are selected where, like, for example, up front, your guy needs to get a goal, and if he's going to get a goal, he needs to at least break past 70 to be like a very good forward. You're expecting something similar from the goalkeeper as well, and I think with Kujakov, we've actually got that already. But up front, I suppose Aspas could offer that at Mallorca, I suppose. We've maybe got it a little bit in midfield if we're happy to play with Forsberg. But yeah, I think maybe defence is maybe where I'm the most worried. So let's filter by position and go to defender first. And as I look across the defenders, I think Austin Trusty at £4.50 is quite appealing, because I think he'll very easily start the Hibs game. I don't see Carter Vickers playing all these games in the same week. And, at point of recording, it's before the Aberdeen match. So I'll maybe hang fire to see the team that plays Aberdeen. But even seeing an Hatate defender card here for 99p. If Hatate comes back into the team against Hibs, like, that's a great scoring defender card. But again, I think we need to actually pay attention to the Celtic team that comes out Wednesday night. So I'm going to keep my powder dry on defence. And you'll probably be able to see, you can check this account out anytime you want. It's called Really Smart Football Fan. Dead easy to remember, dead easy to find. But yeah, after I see the team sheet, I'll probably make sure that we get one of these guys brought in for the defender. And then it is the extra spot after that. So what I'm actually thinking now is who is the best, who's just the best bang for buck player that I can find to play in my extra spot to round off the team. If I bring in a Trusty or a Hatate defender card, I'll be really chuffed with that. We've then got a Celtic presence in the squad, so we can't touch any more Celtic players, so let's just remove them from the filter here. And who's just the best pound for pound player? Now, I'm thinking the target was to break top 100 and bag about $30 or so. So if we're spending like £1 on Hatate or maybe £4 to £5 on a Trusty, I don't want the next player to be much more expensive than that. I want to keep it around that, certainly under a tenner range, is really what I'm hoping for. Ugalde at £7 looks, wow. That looks phenomenal, doesn't it? And who are they playing? Nizhny, who are 12th. And Ugalde is like 3-4 times cheaper than Barco. Yeah, something like that. But wow, look at Barco. Single decisive. Guy just really does suit the Matrix, doesn't he? But yeah, so Ugalde's like a quarter of the about a quarter of the price of him or so, give or take. And I don't know, Coleman a £5. I think he'll play Olise at 21. Goretzka at £2.70. Is Goretzka better than Forsberg? Oh, Leroy Sané, he's expected to play as far as I can see it. I like him as well. I don't think he's kind of like half an Ugalde. There's Ugalde's partner in crime, Theo Bengonda. Again, he's kind of half the player for half the price, isn't he? So there's a lot of decent options actually. And I don't mind maybe double dipping on some of these ones that we're spotting. But I do think Ugalde is like the top pick here, isn't he? Points per pound. Like, looks very 80 plus capable. And when you compare a £7 player to like a £4 player like that, like, I think you just want the guy that's actually going to bring the damage, don't you? Like 90 capable, 100 capable. He is a decisive man, of course, but he's at home to Nizhny, and then after this, it's the last game before their break. So they want to go out in style, and you can see that L3 becoming an L4, can't you? Let's just call a spade here. Yeah, get in here, Manfred. Get in here. And I think, like, let's have a look at how much better he makes the squad. So we're definitely going to be putting him in for, like Clarkson or something like that, aren't we? Well, I think we can just delete both of them, maybe come back to deciding them. But Aspas at home to Mallorca, I can still dig that. Ugalde at home to Nizhny feels good. But yeah, I think we want to replace this defender. We're happy with the goalkeeper. And then midfield, like, if Teji's playing away to Lons, is that really a game that we can just say, yeah, play Teji? The final, that's a tough one. He needs to turn up, Forsberg. It's the final, you know. Imagine he just turns up there and wins the blooming cup. And Clarkson, like, it won't start against Celtic. Look at the rotation pattern: start, bench against Celtic, start then against St Johnstone at home. And yeah, he is good for like close to 10 all around, if not a little bit more in some matches. And if he can't get that decisive, he's kind of okay, isn't he? So I think we stick with Forsberg because he's like a 70 plus midfielder in any case. We've brought in Ugalde. We need to get that defender position sorted. We can then play the Munoz back into the Premier League one, and again just hope that Munoz does a decent score and the rest of these smashers can get us another 1 or 2 essence depending on how high we fly. For La Liga, we'll have the Moreno card still to play. Yeah, I think we'll end up with a La Liga team like this. You know, it's a bit sketchy, but we'll go for it. Jerry Moreno's not exactly got a great fixture himself, so taking the chance on Aaron Barrow in defence could make the difference for us. And I think Captain Rafinha, Bellingham picks himself. Yeah, it's easy enough. And then for the Bundesliga one, we'll have Ben Henrichs available. We'll drop Bischoff out for Musiala, but it's kind of basically the same team. And look at Trapp's L5, by the way, at home to Augsburg. Feels like that's quite a safe pick. I think I could just throw this team into champion, and if Teji's not fit, he's not fit. We can just roll with it. Cross our fingers on this one. We contender team out there. Let's just see how it goes again. It's a goalkeeper issue, isn't it? So, and do we have Clarkson using special? Not anymore. We've got Ugalde. I'm really picking Musiala quite a lot in these builds, so I think I'll captain him in this one. I'm kind of going for the revenge of Pep in this game, perhaps, and then yeah, the rest of them I say kind of pick themselves with Leighton Clarkson coming into this one. So yeah, we're still getting a nice power stack out. We're still getting our individual lineups out, and we've still got excess cards that are zeros that aren't making it into the team. Things that we've got that we've brought in to do giveaways with, essentially. I'm just trying to think of a better way of saying it, but that's just quite simply what it is. And he's been in the club now for 23 days, but now we're going to give away the Piero Hincapié to one of you guys that got involved in the flying goalie edition of Zero to Hero last week. Now, the card we're going to give away on this video for one of you guys in the comment section is a Juan Brunetta, who has now just finished his season, so we want to get him into your club as quickly as possible so you can level him up as much as possible so that when the Argentinian season comes back, you've got wee Juan Brunetta here ready to cook and clean up for you. So, yeah, get into the comment section on this one for a Juan Brunetta. Just a reminder, we're giving away the Daniel Kujakov on the goalkeeper, backup goalkeeper scouting video that's on the channel. And next week, we'll be giving away the Ugalde. Thanks to everyone for supporting the channel. Thanks to everyone that jumped into the comment section in the last video. Good luck to you all. Congratulations in advance, of course, to the winner. And I'm looking forward to catching all the comments on this video as well, who your top nominations are for the anti-stack special. You know, your standalone guys that maybe didn't show up in the fixture list there, but they are against the worst team in the world, away from home, at home. They're the best team in the world. It's, you know, that kind of thing. And nominally priced as well. We're not going out there spending hundreds of pounds to build the squad and then finish 100 and only bag the $30, you know. And congratulations to Mika Dieterman 4671. Jata, Johnson or Ayu from Strub Graz would be great options, and we've definitely seen Strub Graz appear in this one. Yeah, the goalkeeper we've got, of course, so very good shout ahead of time, Mika. Very well done. In the comment sections on these videos, guys, is absolute fire. Thanks to everyone that's watched this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. On screen and now some other stuff that we've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.